here.
Oh, cool. I think it's gonna.
A couple weeks ago, we had like a very bad storm. And like I went to the comic store. I was trying to beat it out, and right as I left the store, it started coming down hard. So I had to run to a Taco Cabana, and I downloaded a very cool a weather app. It's the ACUU one. It's actually really cool.
The AccuWeather weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
It gives me the hour, the daily, the radar based on my location. It's like,
but it only goes like the future radar map only goes about an hour and a half out.
Yeah,
which sucks for right now.
Yeah,
but I'll just keep it going. I'll just have that up in the background. Don't mind me.
Chun Mirror.
What is this? This is So I use the AccuWeather. Yesterday they told me there was gusty winds and be careful. I was like, okay. It's not very useful up here. It's like
it's been real windy down here.
There's weather alerts and everything, but it's not real. There's no real issue. All right, let's start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Truck Shot Gamescast. Each and every week, friends gather around and talk about the games we've been playing and the things going on in our lives. Today, I have with me Justin.
Hi, I'm hot.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Poor choice of words.
And today we also have Ben.
Combo breaker.
So Justin's joining us until the Twister comes.
Well,
yeah, Bill Paxton's gonna come to his house.
He's dead.
Don't remind me. He lives on in spirit.
Yes. He wasn't in that movie.
Yes, he was.
The Spirit?
Oh, The Spirit? No. I was like, are you saying Bill Paxton? Was my childhood? Did I have a Sephiroth?
I do regularly get Bill.
No, it's Bill Pullman.
Yeah, I was gonna say I regularly get him and Bill Pullman confused.
They look so much alike. They really
and their names are similar. They play similar roles. Yeah,
it's Bill Pullman. God damn it! Now I'm wrong in our Kong versus.
But I think they're both dead.
I know Paxton's passed away. I know Paxton passed away. But I don't know about Bill Pullman.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway,
Twister's a great movie. Go watch it.
Yeah, so I assume we're gonna do like games and stuff, but we had to deal with a tornado coming through the area Wednesday night. Well, technically Thursday. It was like we held up in the basement, which great. We have a basement now. About 11:30 until like 12:30, 12:40, something like that. When they gave the all clear, but we were down there for about an hour, like wedged in a bathroom with the cats, and the internet and everything went out. Like we still had power, but and my service was working. Like I was texting my mom because she was in her basement with her cat too, and I was trying to kind of get the updates from her because we didn't have internet, and then like everything died, so I didn't have service or internet. So I was just like waiting it out the last like 20-30 minutes. Jeez. Just wondering like what was happening. In this tiny bathroom with lights, but that's it. And so like finally the service basically came back with the all clear alert. Like everything came back at once. It was really weird. So it's like maybe the tornado like wiped out like just the signal in the area, and then like it passed and everything came back. It felt like a movie moment, But yeah, we are fine. Everything is fine over here. I actually went out the next morning and like our whole neighborhood is untouched. It's nothing about this is funny, but it was kind of funny because I got out like to go to my car and I had a cap from some like a spray foam or something like that on the patio table. And I as I was walking out to my car, I saw that it was still sitting exactly where I left it. So I was like, all right, I guess if that's still there, we haven't been touched. But yeah, we went out today to go to run some errands and stuff because we've been off work. They declared a state of emergency, so a lot of people have been off work or can't get to their work or their work is destroyed, various reasons. So we wanted to get out today and get some errands done, and it was like hard to get where we wanted to go. Because between like tornado damage, which wasn't really in our path, and flood damage, which is like everywhere, like main roads just are covered in water and you can't go through them. Just randomly too.
Turn around, don't drown.
Yeah, it'll be like just a whole parking lot is underwater, and like the road leading to that parking lot is underwater. So like you just have to go to the next road over, kind of like wrap around the flood, and then go to where you want to go. Because this is a very hilly city, so you just get those kind of those like pools, I guess, where everything goes, and then you have the high like the hills. Is it valleys? Are valleys like the deep parts?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'd say that.
Okay, hills and valleys, yeah. So it's really random, like what's closed and what's not. But it was a kind of an ordeal. We had to go out of our way just to get back to where we wanted to be. So yeah, I definitely understand why they want people to stay home right now, because it's a mess. But I spent most of yesterday just like watching like the news coverage and like looking at pictures and videos people had taken on Facebook and just being kind of sad because this is my home. But it's also been really awesome to see the community come together. And like, there was like goodwill and things like that where offering shelter and clothes and things like that to people that had lost everything. My cousin works for the vet, and she said that like anyone that's missing animals, like let us know. We found a lot. We've heard a lot. We can help you find your lost pets. Come here like for shelter. Bring like we are pet friendly here. Come here if you have nowhere else to go. Like all kinds of stuff has been happening, and it's really cool. Actually, like, I mean, right now I've got the weather pulled up because there's apparently another tornado coming through tonight, and I can see like record-breaking floods inundate parts of central U.S. Like as far as the trending news, and like there's stuff about the tornadoes, and my city was trending on Twitter and like was on national news, and I'm like, wow. Of course, this is the thing that makes us famous. Like a devastating tornado. The last this is the worst tornado the Central America area has had since the one in Joplin.
Do you speak Spanish?
I was trying to think of how else to say that.
I'm sorry.
Central United States.
Just say the Midwest.
Yeah, Midwest. Whatever. The worst tornado that's come to the Midwest since the last one. That also hit Missouri. Is the point. So it really sucks that we seem to be the beacon for terrible tornadoes.
Well, you're not. I'm trying to think. You're technically not in Tornado Alley. I don't think you are. It's like on the outskirts, but like you can still, just because of how because we got hit with it a little bit, that front, not much. You guys got the brunt of it, but like it's just the way it curved up.
Yeah, because we got like crazy storms. Like I had been working most of last week on weatherproofing our screened-in patio. And so this is kind of the test of that. It failed, but it did a lot better than it used to. So I'll take that as a win. Wow. But yeah, I would have been really upset if like we just moved here, got a new house, and then a tornado ripped it apart. Like a lot of people did lose everything. I'm not trying to discount, like I'm not like bragging or anything, but we're very lucky. So yeah, that's kind of been part of my attention these last few days, is just dealing with the aftermath of that. And counting our blessings. Yeah. But as far as gaming stuff, back to that. I actually haven't, like, despite having the last 2 days off, I haven't really played much because we've been working on the house. Figure, if you're getting paid days off, you might as well spend some money on the house. Get a little net neutral activity, not net neutrality, net neutral, like as in spending the money that you would have earned. So most of my gaming stuff was earlier in the week, but the main thing I want to talk about, like I played some more Hyrule Warriors. It's still great, whatever. There's some new like Linkle missions, which are kind of cool. There's nothing that different. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is the Mario Kart Tour closed beta, the new mobile Mario Kart game that's coming out. The beta's still going on for a few weeks, so I'll continue to report on it, but so far, like, we can't take pictures or video or anything on it, but as far as I know, there's no, like, proper embargo. So, if you find out afterwards that there is, I guess we can cut this, but plenty of news news places have been covering it and like linking to other people's videos. Like, we're not allowed to take videos and stuff, but we can't stop you from watching these. So I think it's okay. But it's mobile Mario Kart. Like, it's about as authentic Mario Kart as you can get on a mobile device. There's a few weird things about it. Like, it is in portrait mode, like pretty much all of Nintendo's other games. I guess they really like that idea of being able to play with one hand, which I'll admit there's a novelty to that. It's always kind of weird if you have to like turn your phone and like, you know, if you're at work or something, you have to pretend like you're not doing something, obviously, like watching a video or playing a game on your phone. Whereas in portrait, you can just like, oh, yeah, okay, what do you want? And then like, you know, you're just scrolling or whatever. Because people have downtime, you know. But when you're just sitting there playing a game, it's pretty obvious you're playing a game. But the portrait mode, like some people have been complaining about it. I don't mind it, honestly, because you do get more kind of like, you know, road view. You can like see what's ahead of you, and you don't really need the stuff on the sides because that's just scenery. So like the graphics are a little more simplistic. I'd say it's like it's HD 3DS graphics, if that makes sense. So like it's that kind of like simplistic landscapes, like less polygons, things like that. But like it's very smoothed out and high def looking. But yeah, you don't need a lot of the landscape stuff. That's just extra processing power that you can put towards other things. So I don't mind it at all. The only time it's kind of weird is when you're like drifting, for example, and the camera kind of pans to like the direction you're drifting toward, but you're trying to like see around a corner, and you can't see the corner. You can only see the direction. But that's kind of rare, and most likely if you're doing cool drifts, you know the tracks pretty well already. There's some weird stuff like the people have already been complaining about the like pay to win aspects of the game, like, you know, the microtransaction stuff. I don't really mind that because right now you can't spend real money in the game because it's a beta, and I'm sure the progress will be wiped. But it does seem a little bit predatory, I guess you could say, because there's like 5 different kinds of currency in the game, which is a little hard to keep track of. And the biggest problem I have with it is all of the timers. I've said before, I hate timers in games more than I hate microtransactions, because you're basically telling someone, I don't want you to play this game for too long, which is not something you want to do with the game. So you have hearts, which are basically the amount of time, the amount of races you can do. And it maxes out at 5, which I think is kind of weird. Because if you get some as a reward for like the essentially the loot boxes in the game, you usually get 5 of them. But if you have 5 already, you just don't get anything. Like, they should stack. If that's going to be a reward they give out. And there's also the cups aren't really like, you know, mushroom, flower, star, whatever. They're named after characters. And generally there's a track that's kind of focused around that character. And then there's 2 other random ones. And then the last track is like a challenge. So I had one that was like drift through all of the gates. And actually a pretty fun one that was a gliding challenge. So you had to stay afloat for however long. Like, kind of some cool stuff, actually. But each time you beat a cup, the next one unlocks with a timer. So if you beat the last cup too quickly, you might have a timer before you can actually play the next one that you already opened, which is kind of weird. And like, there's no currency or anything to speed that up and get you closer to the next cup. So it's just telling you, nah, you're done, which I don't get. Aside from that, like, beating cups or beating races, I should say, gets you stars, and every like 10 stars or so, you get some kind of like reward box, and it's random, but it's usually like some kind of currency or a part for your vehicle or something like that. And then there's also, I forget what they're called, they're like crystals or something. And those are the things that like you just are your currency, like your paid currency. So when you get 5 of those, you can pull the pipe, I think is what it's called, which is less dirty than it sounds. and that's how you like get the stuff in the game. It's kind of a gotcha mechanic, and that's where the game gets kind of weird, because you get to the amount of stars you get based on your overall score at the end of the race, not necessarily your position alone. So like you can get first place and not get all of the stars in a race because you maybe just didn't get enough points. And those points come from, yes, first place, but also like the amount of coins you get in the race and like the amount of enemies you hit with items and things like that. Sorry, I'm very tired. And also weird things like which stuff you take into the race. So that's where it gets really complicated. That's where the gotcha mechanic also comes in. You go into each race with a racer of your choice, a kart of your choice, and a glider of your choice. But certain ones of those are more catered to certain races. And each one has its own point score. So like you might take a 400-point Mario into a race, but you have like a 500-point Toad or something like that. But the Mario is actually catered to that race. So like he gets like better stuff. So like if it's a you might like start with a mushroom or something because you chose the character that like is focused on that race. Or like with karts, you might get more speed boosts. Like you might go faster when you hit a speed boost because you picked the car that is fit for that race. Things like weird things like that. But you're sacrificing points to get a benefit in the race to make you more likely to get first place. So it's like it's just kind of a strange use of the like customizable, carts and things like that mechanic, because you're not really just picking what you like the most. You're picking the optimal choice to beat the race. And so it makes it a little impersonal. But one cool thing that I actually really like about this game, and I hope they bring into future ones, is aside from just like pulling the pipe to get new stuff at random, you can also buy a limited amount of things in like the shop with coins that you get from the races. So it actually gives you incentive to run around and try to get as many coins as possible. Because they give you speed boosts, but also you get a running tally of how many you have from the entire time you've played. And you might, some of the things in the shop might be like 200 to 500 coins. Like it's a lot, but you also get coins as rewards for completing races and those challenges I was talking about and things like that. And they actually serve a purpose. It's not just something in race. Or like in Mario Kart 8, where it's like, you got 500 coins. Here, have a randomly decided upgrade. Where it's just kind of like a thing that happens. Like, this is actually, you go into a shop and spend your coins. Which seems like something they should have had a long time ago. Yeah, as far as the actual game itself, like I said, it's mobile Mario Kart. The controls are a little funky because you are doing everything with one hand. So you automatically accelerate. And you turn by just kind of like moving your finger left to right. The further you move from the median, the more you steer. You can also set up gyro steering, but that's kind of funky in portrait mode. I tried it. It's a little too sensitive for me. Plus, you can still do like the finger moving at that point. So you're kind of like combining like a little bit of gyro with also turning yourself. And it's just a weird mix. You throw things by just tapping on the item on the screen, like the thing trailing behind you, not the box up at the top. And you can throw shells and things in different directions by just kind of swiping in that direction when you hit the item. All feels very natural. The drifting is kind of weird. Because like I said, it auto accelerates and all you're doing is setting the turn. So it also kind of auto drifts on your turn. Like maybe a second or two into your turn, it starts the drift. You can turn on manual drifting, but then basically every time you turn, it automatically kicks in a drift because there's no button to activate it or anything. And it just makes your steering kind of weird. I think I prefer it actually, but that's what I was talking about where the camera gets kind of weird. Because the direction you're drifting isn't necessarily the direction you need to see. So you just kind of have to know where you're turning and just lean into the drift. But you don't have to do it, and honestly, the auto drifting is perfectly fine. Sorry, I needed some water. But the thing to note, at least as far as the beta is concerned, all of the tracks are remixes of past games, which at this point is fine, because I don't expect a lot of original tracks in a mobile game. And they brought in some that haven't been remade before, which is also really cool. And they added some of the newer stuff, because like I said, there's gliders, there's the underwater stuff. There's no gravity mechanics, at least so far. It feels like kind of a mobile version of Mario Kart 7. But that's not a bad thing. That's a great game. And I mean, all of the tracks are like fully there. It's just they are in portrait mode. So I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard to explain the game because it really is just Mario Kart on mobile. And the only things to really nitpick are the like mobile elements that haven't been fully fleshed out because it's just a beta. So that's the kind of stuff they're probably trying to figure out, how much things should cost and, you know, what currencies are good, that kind of thing. The one thing that's kind of weird, again, it might be different in the proper game when it comes out, is you only race against computers, but they have like names that make you think that they're real people. So I'm honestly not sure if it's like racing against ghost data or if it's actually just computers. But yeah, it's only offline modes currently. But that's pretty much it. There's a coin rush mode where it's kind of like a time trial, but you're collecting as many coins as you can. But that's locked behind another currency, which is like the tickets, like they had in like I think Super Mario Run and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. You have to have tickets to like get into that mode, and of course those probably cost money. You also can spend like different kinds of tickets that you get as like rewards on upgrading your vehicles and things like that. Because like I said, they all have point values, and the more you use them, the more like their kind of level raises and their point value increases. So there's a lot of weird systems in there that you kind of have to just like play it to understand. But I dig it. Like, I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. It's gotten to the point where I'm beating the cups too fast, and it, you know, locks out the next one for like 10 minutes. So I just do one cup and then stop, which doesn't seem like the kind of thing that they would want to encourage. And it takes kind of a long time to get into the game, so it's a little discouraging. But I wanted to at least play enough of it to be able to report on here, and I'm a fan so far. So yeah, hopefully when that actually comes out, we'll be able to like have some online modes and, you know, maybe be able to play together, because that'd be a super fun game, I think, to like just kind of play with people as you pass them, like the Pokemon Go trainer battles. I just go with someone, hey, you want to race? And you just connect your phones and go. Like, that'd be awesome. But if they don't do that, it's going to be kind of a missed opportunity with just the computer races and stuff. But I mean, do you guys have any questions about the beta or anything?
What's up? I saw a cursed image of somebody having 3 blue shells. Can you explain that? That's too much power.
I don't think that's a thing.
I saw it, unless it was Photoshop. I saw somebody have
Photoshop. Come on.
Okay.
You're not supposed to be sharing pictures or videos of this game, so...
Okay. I might have been manipulated, but if that's the case, I'm never touching this if it comes to iOS.
I guess there's a possibility for that. I haven't had any blue shells.
See, that's even wrong.
Well, no, I'm not saying it actually is a possibility, but the reason I preface that is because, like I said, different racers and things like that attached to the tracks have different benefits, and one of those is how many item slots you go into the race with. So, like, if you use a racer that's like, you know, specifically for that track, then you have three item slots. If you have one that's like buffed for that track, you have 2, and any normal racers have 1. So like every time you hit an item block, you either have 1, 2, or 3 items fill in. So I guess there's technically a chance you could get 3 blue shells, but whenever you get 3 of the same thing, it kind of acts like a slot machine where it throws you into a frenzy, and you just have a kind of a cooldown timer, and you can use whatever that item is as many times as possible.
That's
so
terrifying.
In that case, it would actually be like infinite blue shells.
That's terrifying. No, this game is canceled. I'm canceling this game.
But you also, like, the single item can be like the 3 green shells, 3 blue shells, or sorry, 3 red shells. You got me on the blue shell kick now. But what's weird is it shoots them all out at the same time. I don't really like that. Like whenever you have the 3 green shells, it just like pew all at the same time.
Does it have a consistent frame rate from what you remember?
Yeah. I mean, it would be as consistent as your phone's internet, I guess, technically. Or your phone's performance, I mean.
Oh, okay.
But I have a Pixel 3. I had no problems with it.
Okay. Mine's probably chug, considering my phone's on a model. And it's not on Android. So
right. It'll come to iPhone too, but the debate is only on Android.
Yeah.
Which feels so good, by the way. We never get the exclusive stuff.
No, didn't like Mario Run or whatever the one was come to Android first? I remember one of them came.
I don't think so. I think that was iPhone first.
Yeah, I think that was iPhone first.
Like specifically, it was iPhone first.
Oh, okay. That's right, because they had the conference. Now I'm remembering. My bad.
Pokemon Go might have come to Android first, actually, because I had I found like the APK or whatever for it. Or no, Mitomo. One of those. I think I got both of them early, but I think one was exclusive.
That's cool. I just I mean, sorry. I mean, I just if Pink Gold Peach is in there, then I'm happy. That's all I care about.
I don't know yet. I think the only characters I had so far are like I got like.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Hypothetically, whenever
yeah,
fully released.
Like I said, you get the crystals like let you pull the pipe, and like at any given time, like for I think a 2-week span or something like that, there's a certain number of things in the pipe, and there's like some exclusive stuff that's like the rare items that you might have a chance of getting. And like right now, the rare thing is Metal Mario. So it's very possible they'll have future, like they'll introduce future variations of things, and one would probably be Peach Gold or Pink Gold Peach. But right, I think I only have like Mario, Luigi, Toad, Roy, Daisy or Peach maybe. I don't remember. I did like a 10 poll once and just like got a bunch of stuff. So I can't remember what all I got there, but there's like 3 characters in the poll. But that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to talk about that because it's it's an exclusive thing.
All right, cool. Ben, what have you been up to?
Play Mortal Kombat, and I think I've hit a wall. I think not in a bad, I guess but like I like just playing so many towers and grinding it out, and just, like I've gotten a lot of cool stuff, mind you, for the characters I play. But I think once I hit like the character towers, where there are 5 different levels, and I hit Kung Lao's character level 4, and you need 10 perfect, like it's just you need 10, like there's 3 of them that are locked away. You need to have 10 perfect round wins, which you can just go to the Survivor and just do the set. It's very easy. You can probably get that quickly. But it's just and then like one of them is like 25 crushing blows, 25 fatal blows, even though you just did that in the previous tower. It's just like, I think I'm done for now. I'm maybe not done, but maybe like once a week. Where like I just that day I play Mortal Kombat. I don't think I'm going to be playing it every day like I have been, just because it's just I've fought every character. I have gotten most of the heads in Mortal Kombat. So for those who don't know, the crypt, there's a section where the shrine of the statue of warriors from Mortal Kombat 1 is. Across from them, there's like these empty boxes, more loot boxes for you to unlock. And to get those, you need to perform fatality X number of, I think it's 25 fatalities / brutalities on that specific character. And I've done like a third of the cast, and it actually unlocks where you first start off in the crypt. There's a room behind it, and it unlocks there too. And I got some pretty neat stuff. Like I'm happy with like the katana outfits I've gotten, the Kung Laos, the katana. I already said katana. The Jades. I actually like Jade. I played a lot of her. I did her character tower and took her to some of the towers. Those are she's fun. She's not very creative, but I'm not creative either, so she worked out. Plus, I got her maskless variation. Her maskless, so like she doesn't wear a mask. That's a thing you can get. Yeah, so she's really pretty. Anyways,
she's seen in the cutscenes without her mask, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. But like that was like a month ago. I don't remember. So I really want Katana's maskless, but that's like pure luck. So we'll see if I get that at some point. So besides that, though, a friend of mine gifted me not one but two Legacy collections. A friend of mine gifted me the Megaman Legacy Collection 1+2, so I have that now. So now I have all 11 Mega Man games on one console, so that's pretty neat. I didn't really play any of them. I started up Mega Man 1 and then quickly turned it off because I said, nope, not in the mood, because it just felt weird and not good. It's a miracle that game got it. So
that explains that game very well, actually.
Yeah, I'll probably try it at some point, but I do like Mega Man 6. I'll probably revisit that. I never played Mega Man 4 and 5, so maybe I'll play those, and maybe I'll replay 2 again. I refuse to play 3 because fuck Doc Robot. Ugh. Anyways,
and he has the best Robot Masters.
No, he does, but it's so the idea of Doc Robot is stupid. I'm sorry. Just like I beat them. Let me go to fight Wily or whatever it was. No, I don't need more, none of that. Then I popped in Legacy Collection 2. I played Mega Man 8 because I love Mega Man 8. Remember it so fondly. Yeah, thank you. Love it. So good. I just love the music, like the noise effects, the sound effects. Like that's just what I think of the PlayStation. Only beat the first level and then stopped. I'll probably beat it at some point because I've never actually beaten it.
Have you gotten to the Wily stages before?
No, because I can't remember the Iceman state, the Ice Person's name in Mega Man 8.
Oh.
Yeah, I hate that gimmick. I just hate it so much. It's not fun, so I've never done it.
I was going to say something, but I won't. But I will say the Wily stages made me like that game less.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm sure I'll persevere. It's fun. It's fun. And also, I've never played Mega Man 9 or 10. Actually, correction. I have played a little bit of Mega Man 9, but it was a friend's copy, so I never beat it. So I'm looking forward to play those because a lot of people like those. So there's that. But the other collection he got me was a code for the Konami Castlevania, not the Konami, the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which has Castlevania 1, 2, and 3. Castlevania, the two Castlevania games. One's called Belmont's Revenge, and the other one's just called Castlevania: The Adventure, I think. Castlevania Bloodlines was the Genesis version, and then Kid Dracula. The first one I immediately played was Castlevania Bloodlines because I never played that game. This is technically its first digital re-release ever. Like it's never been re-released ever. And it's weird. Like it plays like a technical Castlevania game. It's just it's nice to hear those Genesis twangs and just that how it sounds like they nailed that perfectly fine. I played as the whip guy. I think his name is John Morris. He's not a Belmont technically, but I love the stages. I've beaten 2 stages. I love how visual it is. It's so different than any other Castlevania that I played. You're not in Dracula's castle. Like you're traveling through Europe to stop this one lady who's trying to resurrect Dracula. The music's great. The second level, you're like in Italy, I think, and like there's this great illusion of water effect where, you're running along and you're like over this flooded. I'm guessing it's a lake or something or whatever, and you can see your mirror image, and it's really cool. Like, and it's just nice hearing those Genesis swings. But out of curiosity, I booted up Castlevania 1 because I've never played it. I've always been super intimidated by it. And rightfully so, it's a hard game. And I automatically hate it because, and I don't know if this is in the truth for like other Castlevania ports, on the Switch, you attack with the B button. And you jump with your Y button or the A button. And that's a problem because every time I want to jump, I press the B button because I'm conditioned to do that.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it is a me problem. But it's like, and I was like, can I change the button layout? Nope, you can't. So I'm not calling it bad. I'm just like, why can't I remap the button controls? Let my B be my jump and my Y be attack. Because that's the default on Castlevania Genesis. And I'm pretty sure that's the default like on Super Castlevania 4. So, and I get that the NES only had 2 fucking buttons, but like, come on, man. Button placement here. Maybe they want me to play with one Joy-Con. Maybe that's it.
Konami doesn't think about things like this.
Probably not. But that being said, it is I like how visually it looks, its user interface. You hear the I don't know what the actual track name is. You get like little sneak. It gives you like the story whenever you select it, so that's pretty neat. And then there's like a book in there, like a comprehensive book that has interviews, behind the scenes art. It's really cool. Like for $20, for 6 Castlevania games, I think. Yeah, I think so. Maybe it's 8. But and I never played, and then one of them never been released in America before. Although I would prefer that it was Rondo of Blood instead of Kid Dracula. If you're gonna ask me my perfectly honest opinion, just because that's like the end point of classic Castlevania, and what better way to input I don't know. That's just me. I love Rondo of Blood a lot. That's my favorite Castlevania game. Oh, and I finally returned to Tales of Vesperia after putting it off for too long. And I thought I was at the end, because the way it was building, I'm like, okay, this is the end. We're gonna do. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. What do you mean it's not over? What do you mean there's a big thing invading from another dimension? What do you mean I have to go find these 3 other mysterious elemental beings? All right, fine, fuck it, whatever. Let's just do it. Like I'm at the point, and I hate this about myself, where I get in RPGs sometimes where I'm like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. I just want to beat this already. And I hate myself about that. And I think, and I don't do that with every JRPG, but I don't think Tales of Vesperia is sticking as much as I want to. Like, I liked a lot of it, but like, I just felt like it was about to end, and now it's not. But maybe I'm in the end game now. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna beat it just because I want it done already, and I'm probably gonna turn the battle mode to easy just to breeze through some shit. I'll probably keep it as normal as long as I can. If I get to a difficult boss fight, just turn it on easy and just let me push through, because I really don't care at this point.
Usually when I get to the point where you're at, I usually just look up how far I am from the end.
I don't want to do that because I'm scared, because I've heard mythical things about how long Tales of games can be. So I'm scared. They're like, oh, you're barely halfway there. I'm like, no. I'm never going to do this again. I'm like, it's still fine. The combat's still fine. The music's great. I love the characters, and that's what's pushing me through. But I'm like, God damn, man. Like, come on. Let's, like, I don't know. But it's still a perfectly fine game. I still don't regret it for being my first choice. It's just I guess like I wasn't mentally prepared on how long this journey would be. But that's all I've really been playing. So I didn't want to bore everybody to Mortal Kombat yet again. So I decided to change things up a bit. So yeah, that's it for me.
Speaking of long journeys, my journey of Destiny 2 continues. So over the weekend, I decided to join up and get some more raiding done. Finally conquered that fear, so I no longer fear about being the noob in raids now, which is great. So I could just join up and beat them. We had one guy that was in a looking for group, and we kept asking him to join our Discord. I shared this story in our Discord, and no one responded, but we kept asking him to join Discord so we could talk with him, and he just says he couldn't download it. And I mentioned there's countries that don't allow it, so maybe he's in China. And one of the other guys is like, well, if you type in Tiananmen Square Massacre over and over, it'll boot him because China doesn't want him to see that. And so one guy did, and it actually booted him from the game. And we just lost our minds thinking, like, did that really just happen? He basically booted him from his own looking for group session. It's crazy. Just lost our minds with that. It was hilarious. So I got my Midnight Coupe. New season's coming soon, June 4th. Looking forward to that. Not a whole lot of info is out on that yet. There's some changes in some of the way exotics are going to be working, so looking forward to that. And then I also played some Octopath Traveler, and I decided to start off as the seaside merchant. Is it a girl or a boy? I think it's a girl, right?
Yeah, Tressa is a girl.
Yeah, so Tressa was her. And then I didn't realize that the way the different paths work is that you have to go to each town and talk to the person. in order to to get them in your group, and you can do the thing where like check out their backstory or not. But it feels like it's like kind of immersion breaking because all you're doing is just going up to them and it's like join your party, yeah. Instead of like actually having a real like connection between the characters, it's just like you just walk into town and ask this dude to like work with you. It's like all right.
Like they join you just because they're a party member, not
just because they're
just
because they're a character in the game. That's
yeah.
Yeah, so it feels
because it's basically implied that they take care. Like you're meeting, like the way I see it is that you're meeting them after everything has been done technically, and you by going through like talking to them first, they're kind of telling their tale. So that's what I perceived it as.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have.
It's not. It's that's my own personal headcanon.
Yeah, for me, it's just like it feels like I'm just going up and saying.
It's disjointed, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like disjointed. I would have preferred if, like, after chapter 1, you could, like, back out into a menu and then hit the other chapters for the characters. And then join up after that. Because I don't want to walk around the whole world trying to get my party together. And make it not feel, like, natural. I think, what was it? Saga Frontier was a little bit better in that, where you could play each character's story at the beginning. Like
yeah, or even like Secret of Mana 2 or second it's 3 or whatever, where like each character has like a unique intro part, but then like whenever you find them in the game, yeah, you get a brief little bit of that, but like their introduction into the game is natural. It's just you're following the story of whichever character you started with.
Sure.
And when you run into the other characters, they're just part of your story, regardless of who you chose.
Mm-hmm. Ben, is it like that for all of them, or is that just for like one of them? Because the guy that I'm meeting up now, he's a mercenary, so I figured maybe that's a little bit more jarring than the other ones.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
So like. He's a mercenary, right? So you can just go up to him and be like, "Hey, I want you to protect me." Like that's my idea of that. But is each one of them kind of like that?
Pretty much, yeah. You go into it. It's the same thing. You go into a town. You can talk to them. You don't have to talk to them.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't. You can completely ignore them if you want.
Yeah.
And then you'll talk to them, and then you want to hear their story. And for me, I just heard their story, and I would just like, okay, this time I'm gonna do this chapter, and I'm going to do this in this order in this sequence based on either level or whatever.
Okay.
By the way, go for the dancer because she has a cool ass gimmick that can get you leveled up super fast. It's risky, but it's fucking worth it.
Yeah, so that's Octopath. I like the battling system where each one you have to break their guards and then you get an extra turn pretty much, and you can also boost up your character to attack. I think up to 4 different times in one move, which is pretty neat. I like all that stuff. That stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah, wait till you start like getting other classes and stuff like that, and experimenting and
experimenting with different weaknesses and stuff.
Oh, it gets so much fun. It's like I don't know if you can probably break the game if you know what you're doing, but like me, I'm an idiot, and like I had a fun time. Like for me, when I was choosing second classes. I was like, well, you're this, so I think logically you would be this. So that's just how I operated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like experimenting with just how many free turns I can get in a row. Because you can like cheese the way the order is in the game for each turn. Yeah, and. Yeah, again, like I just like breaking the game mechanics in that kind of way. So that's pretty fun. Haven't played a whole lot else though. Pretty much just that stuff. I've been mostly like reading and watching TV and stuff. So moving on into the news, guys. Sonic the Hedgehog movie is officially delayed. Who saw this coming?
I mean,
not me,
no one.
Yeah.
Really?
I figured they would have kept that date and say, "Fuck the animators, you're getting it out by November."
I said my piece. I assumed they already had a backup design. We're just gonna swap it out.
Oh, that conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
It's not that
I immediately thought that they were just gonna push it out as soon as they announced that. I'm like, there's no way they'll get it ready in time. So, anyways, it's been delayed from November 8th to February 14th, 2020. So now you can give your girl a ring and then go see Sonic get some rings. I don't know.
I mean, I'm already lonely on Valentine's Day anyway, so why not spend it with the blue hedgehog?
He'll give you a ring.
Something blue yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a joke there.
I mean, the thing is, the movie's still gonna suck.
Yeah.
Like some people on Twitter are like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be better now." I'm like, it might be more enjoyable because it's gonna look like the same furhead you knew before.
Yeah,
but
about the movie is different.
Yeah, it's still gonna see the same script, same bland Jim Carrey as himself, and
he's the best part actually.
I mean, it's still Jim Carrey. I mean, that's fine. It is what it is. Never said he wasn't gonna be the best, but like what you're getting. I don't know. It's like it's. I guess it's a win. I don't know. I'll probably see it.
Yeah.
The one thing I like about this is like they seem to know exactly what they're doing as far as the promotion here, because they've got Sonic's gloved hand holding up the sign. So it's like, hey, we're gonna give him gloves. Which, I mean, cool, I guess. But yeah, like that was very intentional, I think.
Mm-hmm. So keeping in the vein of entertainment realm, PlayStation Productions to adapt Sony games for film and TV.
They tried a streaming thing and it failed miserably.
What was their streaming thing?
They did there wasn't PlayStation stuff, but like they had streaming original content. If you had, it was like 2013ish, they had a couple of shows, but like nobody watched them.
The problem though is it wasn't Sony stuff. It was just a production company that like showed things on PS4.
Yeah.
There was Powers was one of them.
Yeah, and it was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I tried to watch it. I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and it wasn't great. But this is just like adapting Sony properties for like traditional media, which is the way that should be done. Taking other people's properties and putting them on your gaming system is just goofy, and not in a Kingdom Hearts way. But it's kind of telling. I don't know if we're going to get there, but it's kind of telling that the first thing that they've announced is the Twisted Metal TV show. And in that release, they had to explain what Twisted Metal was because it's been so long.
Yeah.
So not a great start.
Yeah. Although I will say, if they adapt Twisted Metal Black, because that's the only one I actually like, the PS2 one, because that one was actually dark and pretty interesting. Like I think you could do an interesting Twisted Metal Black, like make it about a psychological thing, but like have cool sequences with like gigantic vehicles with missiles. But like, sure, why not? Whatever. It's just, it can't be as trash as anything else on the market, so why not?
Yeah. The thing that makes me think a Twisted Metal series could work is the Mortal Engines, because that was kind of like, it was Twisted Metal meets like Pacific Rim, kind of, except with like a BioShock Infinite feel to the cities. I actually really liked that movie, but it's that idea of like these big structures that are kind of like human because there's people on them, like just going at it. And there's an extended sequence where there's like a big one like chasing a few smaller ones, trying to like absorb those civilizations into its larger like cityscape. And that's what I kind of think of as like a competition with like sentient vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think they could just do the first game. Like, there was a lot more camp to the first games, like on PlayStation 1. Twisted Metal Black might be the one that's most well known, but it's also like visually kind of bland, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of grays, a lot of blacks. It's not.
Yeah.
The first one was live action, wasn't it?
No, it was still CG, but there was there might have been like certain sequences, but I think it was primarily CG cutscenes.
Or maybe the endings were live action.
Yeah, I just remember the priest ending freaking me out because he got crucified to a wall.
Yeah, like the first games, like there was like the toy room, and like the bedroom, I mean, and like stages like that were really cool looking, and kind of mixed up the variety of places you could race. This seems like something that would be done by like Justin Lin, like that, just crazy Fast and the Furious feel.
Yeah, just get those people to make it.
Yeah, but of course, there's also still the Uncharted movie. But I don't know if that's part of this or if it's a separate thing that they, licensed out before.
It has to be a separate thing because of how contracts work. There's no way it's under this deal.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's going into production. I think.
It's been in production kind of loosely.
Yeah.
Because they lost the director and then now they're back on track, but it's still in the writing phase and it's.
They casted like a young kid, right? Because they're doing like an origin story.
Tom Holland.
Yeah. That's right. That's weird.
This all just reminds me of the Xbox Entertainment Studios that lasted 2 years.
Is that the one where they like went to that one place and found a whole bunch of they found the dumpster place where they dumped all the Atari games or whatever?
Yeah, they had one about the video game crash.
Yeah, it was like a documentary.
Yeah.
And then they did the Halo show that wasn't good. It was okay, but
did they come out?
Well, no, there's a different one that's going to Stars. That's still coming, later this year, next year, something like that.
That was the one with Steven Spielberg, right?
Yes. Okay. But this was like a mini-series that they put out.
Okay.
It went on Xbox first, and then was put out elsewhere. I can't remember what it's called. Is it Fall of Reach?
I don't remember.
Here, let me... Halo TV series.
Apparently they also were behind Humans. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Oh, cool. It's Showtime, not Stars. My bad. No, I don't want that. I want the old series. Like the Forward into Dawn. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
All of Reach was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was it was a mini series leading up to Halo 5, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but it was all just people.
Yeah,
and
I don't have a lot of faith in these kind of PlayStation making a production.
They have a lot of really good studios they could use. I just don't see this being a good thing. Or not studios, properties.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know Sony is in a whole lot of different things, and they have their own pictures stuff.
Yeah,
but that's not the same thing as PlayStation.
You know what's weird though is that they use Spider-Man as it's like one of their images. I'm like, that's not y'all's. That's that's not how. Well, I mean, technically it is Sony's, but you would think they would have put something else there instead of Spider-Man, which is owned by Marvel.
Well, no, actually, it's owned by Sony. They made a deal with Marvel to distribute.
Right. What I'm saying is that you think they would have put one of their own original first party things and not Spider-Man. I just found that funny.
Technically, Spider-Man on PS4 is a first party game.
It technically is, but it's owned by a third company. It's stupid. But it's just it's a big killer.
If they made a movie or TV sequel to that universe Spider-Man, it would fall under the purview of PlayStation Productions. It would not be a Marvel thing or whatever. Because Sony is making other Spider-Man properties that aren't connected to the MCU and that kind of thing. So
it's just weird to me. It's all.
It is.
That is very weird.
But we had the Ratchet and Clank movie a few years ago. That wasn't bad, but that tied into the new game. So if they do things like that, where it's kind of having a movie that ties into a game and kind of having those things play back and forth.
Movie tie-in games.
That's the kind of thing that could be cool in this way. I don't think they're going to screw it up.
It's the gaming industry. Of course they're going to screw it up.
Yeah. And Sony already has productions. So to say these are PlayStation productions, under the Sony Pictures label, basically, just feels weird. Just have them be Sony movies. Why do you need your own thing?
Because we're PlayStation and we're the King Mambo.
Yeah.
Another weird thing that we have relating to Spider-Man is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order trailer.
That's the X-Men trailer, actually. The Black Order is the name of the game.
Okay.
So, semantics.
Yeah. So Ben.
So yeah, basically this is as Justin said, this is the X-Men trailer. We get some nice shots of potential playable characters. We get Magneto is officially confirmed to be a boss / playable character. We're not entirely sure yet, but he's definitely a boss. Also, Mystique and Juggernaut are in the game as bosses. Again, not sure if they're going to be playable or not. Also, we get some very cool shots of certain characters hurting the Power Stone. I won't say who they are just because spoilers, you may not want to know, you know? But definitely one of the bigger surprises, though, is that Psylocke is going to be a playable character in this game. And that
huh? She looks so good.
Yeah, she looks good. I like her. She's not quite Jim Lee, or looks like Jim Lee's design, but there's enough in there to make me think I'm a 13-year-old boy again. Anyways, Nightcrawler looks great. I love that they basically got the same voice actors from the last time the X-Men had an animated series. It's the same Magneto. It's the same Nightcrawler. It's, of course, Steve Blum just always plays Wolverine no matter what. I'm pretty sure he signed like a blood contract with Marvel at this point. There are some interesting things though that aren't highlighted in this trailer, but there's Vision in the background in certain trailers, and a lot of people are speculating that he's going to be playable, which I really hope so, because it would be badass to play Vision. Also, it seems like they're going to try to change things up in levels, because there's a section in this trailer that highlights Juggernaut chasing your team, whoever they happen to compromise of, through the expansion. So basically, you're running from the Juggernaut meme bitch. Which I think that's pretty fun. So yeah, this looks really, really good. Interesting enough is that there's a lot of speculation that at the beginning of the trailer, you see a picture of Cyclops, basically the X-Men, Cyclops, Colossus, and some of the X-Men that we saw in the trailer, that hopefully and a lot of those characters that are in that picture are playable. So hopefully this means both Colossus and Cyclops will be playable. I really hope so, because more X-Men, and also Cyclops hasn't been in one of these games since Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 on the Xbox, as he was DLC only on the Xbox for some reason. Yeah, I can't wait. I want this game already. Like,
people are saying that it looks bad. Graphically, I think it looks really sharp.
Yeah, it looks fine. Like, you know, I think people's standards are a certain way, like considering how Spider-Man for PS4 looked. But I think it looks fine, especially when it's in the heroic camera mode, when you get to see like from the ground level. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's got a good art style to it. The characters have like some nice detail, texture to their costumes, and yeah, like it's Ultimate Alliance. Like, it's not going to look amazing. There's like a bunch of things happening on screen.
Yeah, and I'm glad, and like this trailer kind of solidifies even more so that they're not repeating the same things from Ultimate Alliance 2 by keeping it grounded and keeping it to like one storyline, while they are adapting a Infinity Stone storyline because of the movie. More than likely, it's involving all sorts of different players from the Marvel universe, and that's, you know, that's what made Ultimate Alliance really fun. The first one, at least, was that it was a road trip through everything, and that seems to be the thesis of this trailer and any other trailer they've shown. Also, anybody who's curious, go to GameInformer.com. Plug. This is, we are not paid by Game Informer to say this, but they've been getting a lot of exclusive content for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Other people have been uploading their channels, which you're wrong for doing that. I think you are. So if you want some good stuff like that, like some gameplay videos or new trailers, I think they're getting them all up until the end of this month. So there's some pretty good stuff there too. Some new playable characters. But I just want this game to be out now. Bottom line.
Under 2 months?
Yeah.
Another new game we have is the Until Dawn developers made a new horror game called Man of Medan. Will release in August. So Supermassive Games has confirmed that their new horror game, Man of Medan, will be released on August 30th. Pre-orders are up on Amazon right now for $30. You also get early access to Curator's Cut if you pre-order. And it'll be free later on this year. This looks pretty cool. It's like It's all located on a boat, so scary stuff at sea makes it even scarier. Since your five friends set sail on a holiday diving trip with the rumored World War II wreck to find, as the day unfolds, and a storm rolls in, their trip soon changes into something more sinister. Who will live? Who will die? It's all down to you. Can you save them all?
Cool.
All right.
Horror games.
Yeah, I liked Until Dawn. Until Dawn was pretty cool, so I'm looking forward to it.
It was a very fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
Because I would actually play it, but I don't have PS4. But it was very fun to watch.
Also, you'd be a scaredy cat. So.
No, I'm not. Stop it.
Something weird that came out of left field this week. Playdate.
Yeah, this thing's kind of cool.
It's like a portable. It's basically like a Game Boy, but the games are located on the device itself, and it's got a black and white screen. It's got a crank on it. That's so weird. Justin, you want to talk about some more of this?
Yeah. So I think this was like, I feel like we talked about this a while back, but it wasn't called Playdate or anything. It was just like a thing where you got like a new game every day, and you didn't know what that thing was going to be, but like, whatever came out, you could play. And this is basically that, but on a little handheld. So it has like Tom said, a black and white screen, like very simple, but also kind of high def. Like it's two colors, but it's all very clear, good quality screen.
Yeah, it's sure.
Fairly big too. It has a D-pad, A and B buttons, and yes, a crank, which is kind of cool. We don't know many of the games yet because the whole thing is that they're releasing a new game every day. So I can't remember what they said, but every game that's coming out for it is included. Yeah, I can't find where it says. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so there's 12 brand new games coming out for this handheld, coming out one each week. Oh, I thought it was one each day. Okay, so 12 games, one each week. And we don't know what any of them are except for the one that they've been showing off, like with the device, because they want to keep them a secret until they come out. So it's kind of like a new present every week, where like a little light on the device will flash. It's like, oh, it's new game day, and you just get to boot it up and see what's been added. Like they're all already preloaded. They just release, when it's time for the games to come out. But you don't have to buy them or anything. You just buy the device, which admittedly isn't terribly cheap. But
yeah, it's $150.
Yeah, I expected it to be cheaper because it's not that fancy. But if these games actually have some merit to them, then maybe it'll be worth it. But it's kind of a cool little novelty thing. And actually, I really like that it's yellow. Like that's a neat thing. But yeah, the game they do show has a little robot, and I guess you just use the crank, and you crank it forward to have him move along the scrolling screen and like interact with things that you stop it on. And if there's something dangerous, you can kind of crank it back to make him walk backwards and avoid the thing coming by, and then keep cranking forward to keep going forward. It's a really cool little idea. It's kind of like a time mechanic. And it folds into the device when you're not using it. So it just kind of tucks in, out of the way. Oh, actually, I guess it is kind of a time thing, because the game that we know about is called Crankin's Time Travel Adventure.
Yeah.
But they said some games use the crank exclusively, which like this one. Some don't use it at all. Some use a combination of buttons on the crank. It's a very cool, like, unique idea. And I guess they're calling the 12 games included in the first 12 weeks Season 1. Mm-hmm. So it's possible there will be more in the future. But yeah, this is just kind of a nice little, like, it's literally like a pocket gaming device that comes out with a new game every week for free. It's just, you don't see this stuff every day. It's kind of cool.
For sure. It's very unique.
Yeah.
It's made by the guys at Panic, who, if you don't know them, they published Firewatch and the Untitled Goose Game. So they got some weird stuff going on there. But the other thing I wanted to mention was that some of the game designers, like Keita Takahashi, Zach Gage, Bennett Foddy, and Sean Inman, are signed up to make games for this. So I don't know if you guys know who any of those are, but I know who Bennett Foddy is, and he made like QWOP and Getting Over It. So some like fun, unique. I don't even know how to explain it. Just like movement games.
Yeah, I can see some people doing some really cool stuff with this.
Yeah.
Like a racing game where, like, the faster you crank, the faster your car goes. As you turn, side to side with the D-pad.
Just in time to come to bed. I'm cranking it. Leave me alone.
It'd probably be biking, actually, but still.
Yeah, okay.
Seeing the crank just reminded me of this other podcast I listened to where, like, they're older guys, they're like in their 40s, and they would talk about how their iPads are so old that they have to crank it like with a coal. And this is all it reminded me of. So I was like, oh shit, they put a crank on there. That's fun. Inside jokes.
You gotta crank your game console to make it work.
So that's funny. I like that.
So we have next news story is Sony's official video comparing the performance of PS4 Pro versus next gen PlayStation. We had some info about this before with the loading times. There's also some slides that came out. I don't know where I put that. I lost that. I'll see if I can find it, put it in the show notes for later. But it kind of like just went down the roles of what the PS4 is going to be compared to the next gen, and the next gen's mostly going to be streaming. Like, you'll still have your backwards compatibility with discs and stuff, which is like really cool. But
smart move.
It seems like they're going to be focusing on streaming. They're going to introduce 1080p streaming, which I didn't even realize they weren't even at 1080p.
Wouldn't that be based on your internet connection, though?
Stadia. What is the Google thing called?
Stadia.
Stadia.
It's supposed to be doing that, and it can do up to 4K if your system can handle it.
Yeah.
But it's not like 1080p isn't standard yet because Stadia is not even out. So
it makes sense because it's a lot of information to stream at 1080p.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like the test stuff that like Xbox has been doing and things like that has been 720, but like a quote unquote very clear 720.
And I remember also seeing the like Microsoft and Sony are partnering up to like get the streaming stuff to work. So that's wild.
Yeah, I've seen some of that too.
Like I saw that
some people at Sony didn't know that there was a deal between them and Microsoft.
Yeah, it's just so wild to like be reminded of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got anything else to say
on this? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. I just give me my physical.
Yeah, cloud computing with a solid state drive for performance just makes me feel like we're not going to have room to actually store any games physically.
This is why I'll stick with Nintendo.
I embrace my digital future. Get rid of all my shit. There's so much shit in my house.
I mean, I tried to update my Switch storage to 128 gig micro SD card, and it took forever and didn't even work. Well, I keep forgetting to check Mortal Kombat, see if I actually have my. I haven't played anything but Hyrule Warriors, so I transferred all the stuff over, but it didn't work, and I had to re-download everything. But I haven't actually checked like the save data or anything from those games that we downloaded.
I mean, I did it, and it worked perfectly fine. It took about an hour.
You just like copied and pasted it over?
Pretty much.
Well, it didn't work for me.
Oh yeah, I just dragged the files, and then it took longer than I expected. But I'm like, oh, okay, no problem.
Because I had to format the card on the Switch and then take it out and move the games over to it and then put it back in the Switch, and it said there was nothing on it.
Didn't even format it. I just straight up did that, and it worked.
Maybe formatting was my downfall.
Aha! I did something right. Yes.
I followed the instructions, so the instructions are wrong.
Justin, would you play a Game of Thrones video game?
There was a Game of Thrones video game, and it was pretty bad.
Is that the Telltale one?
No, there was another Game of Thrones video game.
Yeah, there was one that was before that. Yeah.
Yeah, I never owned it, but I saw a friend play it because he was super into Game of Thrones and loved like Skyrim and stuff like that. And he was really into it for a little while. And the next time I saw him, he was like, "I'm still playing this, but I don't know why." It's so, like, watch, I can make the glitches happen. And he just started doing things, and it like the game freaked out. Like they were features. The glitches were features.
Yeah. That I don't think many people know about that game.
Yeah. It's look it up. It's a hoot.
Yeah. It's a hoot.
It tried to be Skyrim, but it's not.
But what if I told you that this was made by the Dark Souls guys?
So it'll be the Dark Souls of Game of Thrones games?
Yes. It would actually be that.
Can I burn a town full of innocent people?
You could probably kill everybody, yeah. I mean, the Dark Souls games allow you to kill NPCs and, like, shopkeepers and stuff, so...
Alright.
There you
won
go.
me over.
So Gamatsu report first claimed that the unannounced game is collaborated with the Tokyo-based Dark Souls and Sekiro developer.
Sekiro.
From
That's a typo.
I think it's supposed to be Sekiro, right?
I thought it was Sekiro.
Oh, Sekiro, yeah. Anyways, the I and the R are flipped. Developer from Software and VGC sources confirm that this is indeed the case. The unannounced title is said to be an open-world game featuring horse riding with Bandai Namco Entertainment set to publish.
That's the thing they promote in a Game of Thrones game?
Yeah, horse riding. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. Collaboration sees George R.R. Martin working with another renowned fantasy creator, Hidetaka Miyazaki, whose Dark Souls series has earned critical acclaim and sold more than 10 million copies.
Oh my god, it's not a typo. They think that's the name.
No.
They did it again.
Yeah, they did it again, but I don't think that's the name.
No, it's not the name, but they think it's the name.
Sekiro. Yeah,
it's not the name.
It's IR, yeah. They misspelt it.
Yeah.
Good going, videogamechronicle.com.
In related news, it has Sekiro. Like, other stories they've put out, it says Sekiro.
Mm-hmm.
This one has multiple instances of Sekiro.
It has been suggested that George R.R. Martin in collaboration will be unveiled at E3 in June. Unable to verify this information at the time of publishing. So, look forward to
there
E3.
was out, like, we didn't really cover it because they're just kind of speculation stuff, but Microsoft has been kind of changing their icon, like their social media presence with a lot of like ice and fire based icons.
Really?
So there's been speculation that they are getting an exclusive Game of Thrones game, which could be this. Like, that would be a big exclusive for them.
Okay. I was trying to look up to see if they still have those images or not. But...
It was like the Xbox logo was covered in fire, and they had a post out a little while ago.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh no, they changed it back.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that post was. If I can find it real quick.
I'm interested. Like, I'm not as fascinated with the Dark Souls games as some of our friends are. But I always play them and then just never finish them. And I do enjoy like the real-time combat with them and like the strategy involved. It's just it's very demanding though.
Yeah.
So I never finish it.
I'm not a fan. I actively do not like them. I stay away from them.
So I'd be interested in seeing a Dark Souls version of Game of Thrones. It'd be weird.
Jeez. Xbox tweets a lot.
Everyone tweets a lot, man.
I guess so.
You have to tweet at least 10 times a day. If you're not
How
doing
is
that,
how is his Cybernet supposed to track you?
Oh, so I guess it doesn't necessarily mean anything. There could still be something coming, but I see now that that stuff was leading up to a special Game of Thrones themed Xbox One console.
Oh.
I missed this post entirely, I guess.
I remember when I first saw that, and then a lot of people thought like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get a Microsoft character in Smash," and thought we were Banjo. Like, no, probably not. It'd be hyped though.
It's a really ugly console, by the way.
So final news story of the day is Final Fantasy VII Remake demo to launch soon. Game is split into 2 parts. So the following information comes from Square Enix Publishing localization branch. May not be correct. Not all the info may be correct. According to the report, Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually divided into 2 parts. First one ending where the original game's first disc ended, and report also claims that the playable demo will be made available after the E3 next month. Part 1 ends when Aerith goes into the water.
Nice. Good job. Excellent swim.
Apparently, materia is shown on almost all weapons. They do not appear in accessories, nor do accessories appear on your character model. Different weapons will, however, appear on your model. Example is a rune blade will be on Cloud's back if equipped during and exploring. I'm pretty sure that was kind of like in 7. They didn't have the accessories shown, but they had the
because they probably couldn't.
It's neat that they have the material shown though. It's kind of like
cool.
It's not that hard. There's like 5 colors.
Yeah, I know.
You just have it show those colors in whatever order.
Yeah, but it's kind of like putting the Infinity Stones on your weapons.
Yeah, true. It's cool. I'm just saying, like, the coding of it, like, you would expect it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Different weapons have different triangle heavies, so different abilities. Rune Blade will have the cleave. Buster Sword will have Punisher. Regular hits or chip damage. Main damage will be from heavy combo finishers, and of course, massive limit breaks. Using magic will consume ATB with MP. Get more games as the game progresses. There's a lot of here, so like, let me know if I need to stop.
Yeah. Well, just to clarify here real quick, like, this is the kind of stuff that actually makes me a little more excited about the game. I wasn't here when you guys were talking about, you know, the reveal and everything. I wasn't super excited by that. Like, the action RPG elements didn't get me going or anything. But if this is how it actually works, then it basically means, like, ATB is active time battle. Like, that's the old, like, time or an old turn-based battle system that Final Fantasy games used to have.
Yeah.
So if it's basically where the bar still charges, like the old turn-based games, but you can kind of do like little chip attacks in the meantime, kind of like, you know, little mini like, if you're thinking a fighting game, it'd be like, you know, light punch, light kick, while you're building up your heavy punch and heavy kick and like your specials.
Yeah.
If that's how it works, that's actually kind of cool. And then using things like your magic and your limit breaks and stuff like that needs to still have those bars filled.
It's like an EX move.
Yeah. So it's like it's active and that you are continuing to attack while your bar is filling up. So it's not just like waiting. Like, I get that's kind of boring. But you're not doing much damage with those. It's just kind of, it's a clicker game until it builds up and you can use your action attacks.
Wow.
And that's really cool. I love that idea.
Summons are going to be like a cutscene like the originals, which kind of bums me out because those can take forever, especially the Knights of the Round.
Once or twice, and you're like, all right, let's get this.
Yeah.
Except in Final Fantasy VIII, where you want to just build up their boost.
Or in newer Final Fantasies where you can fast forward that shit.
True. Or in 10 where they fight alongside you.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
I like that.
There's going to be one new summon called Amarok. Appears to be a wolf and causes darkness in addition to damage. That's pretty cool.
That's nothing terribly new. That's Finra. It'll probably be named Finra when it actually comes out.
The way you thought I was going to be a rock monster and I was going to get rock puns, but I'm disappointed.
Sounds like a Pokemon, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Isn't that close to a Pokemon? Oh, Marowak.
Okay. Overworld map is almost seamless. There's zones. There will be roads and methods of transportation. It is open world. Vehicles like the Tiny Bronco work almost exactly the same to being able to go into lighter water. There will be items available occasionally on the field. Chocobos will of course be attainable after the farm. They have really made an effort to make each town feel lived in.
You don't have to read all of this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like parsing through some of this crap. That's just, fluff.
Yeah. The thing I think is interesting, just to kind of cut ahead, give you a spot to give you a second to look.
Sure.
There will be demos on the game floor. So basically, at E3, they always have special presentations that we never get. But presumably, that demo is also the one that's going to be on the PSN shortly after E3. So I always like when they do that. There's usually one or two demos that actually make it to home, and it always makes us feel like we get to be part of E3. So that's really cool to me. And this is the kind of game they do it to sell people on, I think. They're changing it so much that you need to understand this is still a game you love.
Yeah, and I already have some people already hating it already.
Already.
There's going to be monster redesigns. That's pretty cool,
Except no ghost enemies. What's up with that? The ghosts are the train yard.
I hated that part.
Against ghosts.
I mean, I hated it too, but it's like there was a generation that had to live through that. Back in my day.
Shinra HQ won't have as many floors. It's going to be more dense though.
That's the kind of thing that worries me about an action RPG. Is you have to change the maps to fit just like running into enemies and fighting them right there. Like, I think Shinra is one of those areas that's going to take a hit because it has to be a lot more open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Design for Tifa is original to the... It's true to the original outfit. Face is from Advent Children, apparently. Slightly more Western. Kate Sith seems to be pronounced as Ket Sith, which this is a crime.
No. That's Tidus all over again. Get it out of here.
Exactly.
Ket it to the curb.
Has undergone no major design overhaul. His fighting style is more close up and does have bars for limit breaks. Did you guys think that Kate Sith was two different people instead of just the cat?
I thought it was one thing.
Yeah, it's the thing controlling the road.
I always thought it was two different
It is
people. No, but like the thing is just like it's a robot, right? That he just hops into.
Spoilers.
Oh, come on.
It's a 20-year-old fucking game. Who fucking cares?
This is the new one. People are going to be playing it for the first time.
When you look at it, you'll automatically know.
Throw in the yellow card at that shit.
Okay, so you didn't spoil Eris, but you're going to spoil Kate Sith.
Spoil Eris? You don't have to spoil Eris because the internet spoiled Eris. Come on.
What's the problem?
Because Kate Sith, nobody cares about Kate Sith. That's why he's
Kate Sith is the least used character in this game.
Oh yeah, thank you. He is.
That's true. But see, I'm unnecessarily biased for Kate Sith because I love the. No, hold on. Because I love the playthrough that our friend of the pod, Metal Blade, and his friend Paul did, and they did all the voices for the characters, and Paul made Kate Sith sound like Christopher Walken.
Oh god, okay, that's
and it was amazing. So I love Kate Sith now because he's Christopher Walken.
Okay, and yet when he's voice of this, he will not be Christopher Walken.
I need to go back and listen, watch that.
Yeah, it's long, but it's fun.
It weirds me out, and I'm not going to spoil this but it weirds me out that Vincent is optional, yet his story actually fucking gives you context for a lot of shit. But a fucking cat thing, that's mandatory, assholes. God. At least, hopefully, Vincent will, you will get Vincent, and you won't have to, I had to have my friend tell me how to get Vincent.
Really?
So I don't miss that shit.
Well, I was going to say, lucky for you, Yuffie and Vincent are no longer optional.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's okay. That's
you can miss them up to a certain point where they then become mandatory to get.
Yeah, my friend told me how to get you. My friend told me about Yuffie. He didn't specifically say just do this. I'm like, okay. And then he told me how to get Vincent because I don't remember. I think
you just have to open a door in the past though.
I don't remember. It's It's not something you could miss.
You could miss it, but
because it's out of it because it's the final battle right before you go into the crater to fight Sephiroth. They have no dialogue, because they didn't expect for you to have them probably.
Yeah.
So
that always bothers me, unnecessary characters in RPGs.
Yeah.
Because they can't be important, just by definition. They can't.
Does that shit a lot, and I hate it.
And they're such good characters too. Vincent's always on my team.
Vincent's cool. I loved him. He was a mainstay on my team. He was with me in the final battle when I killed that son of a bitch. Yeah, but sorry, don't come crying to me, to the random person, about Final Fantasy VII spoilers. They're all over the internet. You're gonna get spoiled. It's just gonna happen.
I love that you can get a gun for him at like near the beginning of the game and not use it like ever.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Anyway, I thought Kate Sith was the entire thing. Like, I know that it's two separate things, but it didn't register that the cat is the only thing that's Kate Sith.
Okay.
No, I always knew that it was the cat's bites.
Yeah, I thought it was two separate beings that formed together to create one, but not
Voltron.
really.
Yeah, but no, really, nobody cares about Kate.
Okay.
So
Golden Saucer, best part of the game. We'll have some games that are not playable yet because they're essentially replaying part of a later story mission.
That's the way it is.
Some will be playable when you arrive. Main break for story beats. Yeah, it's just like all the
That's
side
just
stuff. Like
Final Fantasy VII. That's
yeah,
how
I know.
that works.
It's pretty much that's all that paragraph is. I hated those mini games. I didn't find them particularly.
They're okay. The snowboarding one sucks.
Yeah, I didn't like the chocobo races either.
I didn't do any of this when I first played it.
You had to do the chocobo race.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, I don't
That's
remember.
when you run into Kate Sith.
It's like 6 years ago when I played it. I don't remember. I only did what I like. That's how I am with RPGs. I do what's mandatory, and if I like it enough, maybe I'll do the other side shit.
I was gonna play it with Lo, and we were gonna do the voices in a fun way, but then you had to go and ditch us.
Yeah,
so.
and then you had to go get a job. And...
Damn, way to call him out on podcast.
What
Jesus.
a dick.
This is how low starts the NWO now.
You dead to me.
Red 13 now has clones Cobalt 14 and Indigo 15. You must fight them before he joins your party in the Shinra HQ, which is interesting.
That's definitely new because I don't remember any instances of that happening.
I remember them being around, but like not actually like.
Were
they were in like supplementary lore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the idea is like the boss you fight like in the chamber, where Red 13 is, was supposed to be like a weird like genetic mix of those two that went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're fighting them instead of the like monstrosity that you would fight instead. I would assume.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Sid does not appear to be smoking, but you will see evidence that he is vaping instead.
No, that's not what it says.
Clearly, he is clearly vaping. It says it right here. No. He's clearly upset with the Shiro.
He does that thing where like he just like puts his hand over his mouth. He's like,
yeah,
and then just puts it down, and then just magically blows smoke out of his mouth. Like
he has a
where
new
did that
skill.
come from?
He has a new skill called Smoke Screen. It allows you to run away in battle.
And leave behind a minty fresh scent.
Yeah, you guys already talked about Yuffie and Vincent no longer being optional.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud will have a dress and wig in one particular scene, but
it
fades to black, getting in and out of it, so you don't get to see any Cloud dick.
Right.
I can go to roll 34 for that.
You don't get to see him tuck.
Tuck.
This is a surprisingly good artist out there. Let's just say.
The Honeybee Inn requires Gil to get in instead of a membership card.
That's kind of annoying.
The membership card part?
I mean, getting the membership card was annoying, but it's so lazy just to be like, hey, pay to get in.
Yeah. Squatting minigame returns. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, full price game. Wait, as these are full games, each will be in fact. Oh, what? They're both $60. That's not right.
If they're both full game, like it sounds like they're expanding the games out. So if you think like start of the game through what is it, Temple of the Ancients? That's a lot of content.
Yeah,
Even I mean that's 20-30 hours just normal game time. But if they're actually expanding that out and adding stuff in, I mean that's plenty.
Yeah,
it does kind of suck, but it also makes Aerith more viable.
Definitely. I wonder. Did they say anything about Cloud's friend?
No, nothing has been said about that in here.
Nothing has been said about Zach. Okay, because that should be like, because that's something you will definitely miss.
Yeah, I see them adding in more of that supplementary stuff.
Yeah, just don't include Crisis Core. Just leave that whole subplot away.
Some of the characters would be fine.
No, like
Crisis Core was great.
But just like that whole thing, that whole other person that was with Sephiroth, that's weird. That's when it got too weird.
Oh, Genesis or whatever.
Yeah, like that was all dumb. That didn't need to be there. So like you can have Zack and the connection there, but I don't think they should acknowledge.
What about like Angeal or whatever his name is?
I don't even know who that is.
He's the dude that gave him the sword.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, none of that. None of that matters. The only thing that matters in terms of Final Fantasy VII, none of that matters. So I don't think they should bring it up.
They're expanding it. That's the thing. Whatever.
I guess, but like, is it relevant to the story of what they're trying to tell with Cloud?
Give him the sword.
Yeah, but the sword isn't that important. The sword isn't like a holy relic.
Listen, it's not.
It's just a sword.
It's not part of the Final Fantasy VII story, but it is a good story.
I guess.
To me, anyways, fine.
I feel like that's too much.
You're too much.
I know I am. This is why I'm gonna come to Tepaku after this is over.
They end this off with signals have gone out to pre-orders to retailers to prepare for pre-orders. So it's possible part 1 at least is further along than we expect.
Maybe they'll release part 2 at a later date.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sounds like it'll probably be like part 1 will be either like late this year, early next year, somewhere in those lines.
Be a great holiday title.
And then like part 2 will be in like 2025 or something like that.
That's
I don't know.
I'm joking, obviously.
You're joking, but it also could be true.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
very
thing.
well could be true. Yeah.
Oh well. Go play.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
If you want a completed RPG that's not split into 2 games.
So, Final Fantasy VII has been released on Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. Square Enix also released an update which fixes a music bug. It's been there since the original PC release. And Final Fantasy VII Remake is currently in development for PlayStation 4. So, Ben, you have to get a PS4 now.
For what?
For this game.
For which game?
The Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Did you have a stroke?
I don't. No, you were. There was a noise over when he said that, so I wasn't sure. I thought he said 8 for a second, so I was being quiet.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. Like, I don't. I'm not. I don't. I guess. I mean, the PS4s are going to go on sale anyways. Sure. Why not?
For sure. They're already like $200 for the base model.
That's still too much. Wait till like under like 150 or something.
Jeez.
Maybe a Black Friday deal.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I guess I'm not like I'm excited to see other people play it. I'm not excited to play it. I'm not hating it at all.
Yeah.
But like I played Final Fantasy VII. And I can play it again the way I want to. So like I'll enjoy it through others, and maybe I'll play it through when it's complete. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I don't want to cry again with Aerith.
I want to play this demo that they're gonna put out.
Yeah, that'll make it or break it for me, because I don't have to buy this game. Like Ben said, I played Final Fantasy VII. I own it still, and I haven't played it again. But if the demo's good, sure, I could try it.
Yeah, I want to play. I have it on my Switch. I want to play it again. It's just, things. It's a long game. It's a long game.
All right, that's the last news story for the week. So, Justin, where can the people find your stuff?
They can find me if they look up Zero Score on various parts of the internet, like Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, I guess, Twitch. I was going to say Twitter again. I was going to start streaming this week, but tornado. So probably next week. Like I'm thinking Thursday nights. Again, I was going to do Monday, but then I realized, which I guess now it doesn't matter, but I realized that like the week I would decide to do Mondays is Memorial Day weekend, and I wouldn't be able to do Monday. So I'd be pushing it off another week, but then I pushed it off a week anyway because tornado. So I'm still not totally sure yet, but I think it'll be next Thursday when I start streaming. So check that out.
And Ben?
You can find me at twitter.com/marvelousiggy, where I tweet about fighting games, anime titties, and monsters.
And that's it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, 3 things that matter to me in life.
And you can follow me on Twitter, CSG Thomas on Twitter. You can check us out here at charshot.com for audio, video, and written content. Check us out on Spotify. You can stream us there now. You can subscribe to us on any of the other podcasting platforms. Leave a review for us there. And you can email me, thomas@chargeshot.com, for any questions for the podcast. And until then, guys, enjoy your games.
Bye.